Today's YouTube video is going to be called 45 Minutes of Great Sex Part 3. How to Last Long in the Bedroom. See, we live in a world where a lot of men work 5 days a week or 6 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And a lot of times when they do get to have sex, or as I like to call it, get your freak on with your woman, one of the number one complaints that women have is most men don't have no stamina, and that's due to working long hours, whether it's 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, whether it's 12 hours. And a lot of guys don't have time to go to the gym and get into athletic shape with a combination of cardio and weight training. Now, the secret to quote-unquote blowing a girl's back out, it's actually quite simple. Basketball players, football players, any pro athlete, guys that have done sports in high school and college and in the pros, know what I'm talking about. And that is, you must walk or run 5 or 10 or 15 miles to build a lot of stamina. How does a professional basketball player last 4 quarters of a basketball game? And then what if the game goes into overtime? A lot of times sex is just like playing sports. Football, there's 4 quarters. What if the football game goes into overtime? And when you have sex with a woman from the age of 18 to 29, a lot of guys complain the women got too much energy, she always want to fuck, and the guy be shaking his head like, how do I keep up in the bedroom and not let a woman work me in the bed? Well, if you're messing with women that are freaks, you're messing with women that are sexually perverted and they're freaky like that, then you got to stay in shape a lot. And I know that's hard because when you do a 5-hour shift or an 8-hour or 10 or 12-hour shift, it's impossible to go to the gym and stay in athletic shape. Now, I'm not saying you got to be a basketball player, a football player, a baseball player, or you got to do track and field, or you got to be a mixed martial artist or a boxer. But the reason why those athletes are in prime physical conditioning is because they go to the gym 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week to get bigger, stronger, faster, and athletic, and they do cardio and weight training. Now, when you do 5 miles, you ain't got to do 5 miles every single day. You can do 5 miles 2 or 3 months later. Turn around, do another 5 miles. 5 plus 5 is 10. So in 4 months, you've done 10 miles. You ain't got to do 10 miles in 1 week. You ain't got to do 10 miles in 1 month. You can do 5 miles 1 month. Go 3 months later. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 months later, do another 5 miles. 5 plus 5 is 10 miles. Same thing if you want to do 15 miles, 20 miles, and only when it's necessary, 25 miles. And the reason why I say that in the YouTube video is because a lot of men get sexually frustrated or they get angry when a female go, well, I want a man that can screw all day long and all day night. Now, realistically, in the real world, that's impossible to some people. And then there are stories where a guy takes a whole week off and he's able to actually do 50 or 60% of that expectation. And I'm just here to tell you. Now, another thing that I've noticed is that about 80% of men bitch and complain about women complaining that they're too nice, they're too civilized, and they need someone that's big, strong, and powerful. And most men cannot use their animal primal instincts. Like, they just cannot give in to the animal. Well, I'm here to tell you that in order to survive in the real world, you might have to turn on your primal instincts. Now, I know society is ass backwards with an ass backwards mentality way of thinking. It's like telling Bruce Banner, don't transform into the Incredible Hulk. Well, then Bruce Banner will die if he doesn't turn into the Hulk. That's like saying to Logan, don't turn into the Wolverine and don't let the adamantium claws come out. Well, if he doesn't do that, he dies. That's like telling Goku from Dragon Ball Z, don't transform into a Super Saiyan. Well, if Goku doesn't turn Super Saiyan, Frieza kills Goku in the story. So Goku had to transform into a Super Saiyan and use his primitive nature to what? Survive. And if you actually think about having 45 minutes of great sex, it's just like playing basketball and football. And for you to blow out a woman's back, it's not a special secret. It's all common sense. All you need to do is do 5 miles, 10, 15, 20 miles, if necessary, 25 miles. And I promise you, you won't get no complaints from 80% of women if you actually do that. Now, it could take you 3 months. It can take you 6 months. It can take you 9 months to do all the stuff that I described. But you will have an 80 to 85% chance when you do blow a woman's back out. Doesn't matter if it's a black woman, a white woman, a Mexican woman. Doesn't matter if she's mixed or from a foreign country. Doesn't matter if the woman is from the ages of 18 to 29. You can blow a woman's back out if you stay in great athletic shape. But you don't have to be a basketball player or a football player to do this. This is not just athletes that do this. It's average men who can do this. And one of the complaints women get is, he can't blow my back out. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, women love to judge a book by its cover. Yeah, women do love to judge a book by its cover. But you could change your physical appearance to the point where it makes them think twice about judging a book by its cover. Now, there are places that you can go to unleash the beast. There's this underground sex club, and they're all over the world. I mean, they're in every city and every state. No matter, there's 50 states and the United States of America, right? So in 50 cities and 50 states, everywhere in those cities and states, there are an underground sex club. And in that underground sex club is heterosexual men who have a job or 2 jobs, or they have a private business, and they make anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to like maybe $50,000 a year. And these men go to these underground sex clubs because they're sexually frustrated. See, at work, you can't unleash your primal nature. They will fire you and terminate you from your job if you start fantasizing about wanting to grow up a woman's ass or breast, or you want to touch the legs or the thighs, or you make inappropriate sexual remarks. You can get fired. You can get terminated from your job. Once you get 4 strikes, that's it. You've been fired. You've been let go. And then it could take you 5 or 10 years to get a new job. And then you find yourself in the unemployment line. And then you got to go on Social Security income disability because you ain't got no job for 5 years or for 10 years. And you live in a society that's biased. You live in a society that has ass backwards mentality way of thinking, where you realize that if you were rich and famous, you ain't got to follow too many rules. That's why when you see guys have sex and screw anything in a skirt, it's not that the guy's desperate. I mean, in some cases, the guy has low expectations and he's desperate and he'll screw any piece of ass. Yeah, it will most definitely down. But you have to look at the bigger picture. He's doing that so he doesn't lose his job. He's doing that so he doesn't have to worry about getting written up by his managers or assistant managers or supervisors or assistant supervisors. So he's taking care of the problem off the clock. So when he comes on the clock, he ain't got to worry about being a mangina or a simp and simping after every single woman he sees. So when you see a guy have sex with a woman that's fat and out of shape, and she 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, yeah, he is sexually frustrated. He is lowering his expectations. He is desperate as hell. But he's not going to lose his job in the process because he's using this. If you see a guy have sex with a woman that's in her 30s, 35, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, having sex with women old enough to be his mother and grandmother. Yes, he is desperate. Yes, he is lowering his expectations. But he's not losing his job. He's not putting his way of making money and how he pays his bills, he's not putting that into danger. If the guy's having sex with girls with too many tattoos and body piercings, again, the man's desperate. The man has lower expectations, but he has not lost his job. So those men are never sexually frustrated. Okay, those women are not supermodels. They're not fitness models. They're not booty models. They're not actresses in television and film. It's not the news lady. It's not the cheerleader. It's not the Queen of England. He's not having sex with desirable women, but he is getting sex. And he is relieving himself of his sexual frustration. The men who go 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, not able to express themselves sexually in a good way or in a bad way, and cannot release their primitive animalistic nature, are the guys you see in the news. The guys who pick up guns and shoot up the whole entire place because they're sexually frustrated and they've been rejected their whole entire life. And for once, they just want someone to let them express themselves the way they want to express themselves. And society won't let them do it, so they don't know how to control their animalistic primal nature. So they go on a massive killing spree. That's why you have so many of these killing sprees. And then when they find out it's because the guy got rejected by a girl 10 times, 15 times, 20, 30, 40, 50. In 10 years, the man's been rejected 100 times. In 10 years, he's been rejected 100 times. And he begins to go into a state of insanity. What's the reason of insanity? Doing the same bullshit over and over and over again every single day, trying to expect the same result or different results. And when you don't get the results that you're looking for, you snap and you go into a psychosis where you are not yourself. And then you take that state of mind to work, and then people start thinking something's wrong with you mentally. And it's because these men do not know how to relieve themselves of sexual frustration. That's why you see a lot of guys play basketball, football, baseball. They do boxing. They do martial arts. That's why you see a lot of guys get a passport and go to different countries so they don't find themselves in that predicament. That's why you see guys go to the gym and work out. That's why you see guys do 5 miles, 10 miles, 15, 20 miles, 25 miles, something to get them out of trouble. That's why you see guys trying to do anything they can not to end up in that predicament. And when they go to these underground sex clubs, they're pretty much smashing and banging anything in a skirt. Fat women, mothers that love to fuck, grandmas that love to fuck. They're messing with golf girls, girls with too much tattoos and body piercings. Doesn't matter if the girl's bald-headed with a big butt and big titties like Amber Rose. Doesn't matter if the girl is bipolar. They're doing it in this underground sex club where they gonna charge you anywhere between $1,000 to maybe $5,000 cash as a member. And those guys who do that, you don't see those guys snap at work. You don't see those guys go crazy on the road while driving a car. The guys that you see that snap and go crazy are the guys who go 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year because they ain't getting no ass. And they've been rejected 100 times in 10 years. Or in 15 years, they've been rejected so many times their whole entire life that no one has ever sat them down and explained to them there is a balance between being civilized and unleashing the animal primal instinct. How to release your animal primal nature. And that also answers why most women go after criminals, thugs, gangbangers, Crips, Bloods. Because they're guys, they don't hide their true nature. And when the women give them the sex, it's because the woman knows she's going to get satisfaction. Now, when a woman gets a guy that's civilized, that's why you see the woman could be civilized and the man is all animalistic and shit. Because those guys have figured out how to get what they want from the woman. At the same time, that guy is still going to make his money. Now, the guys that don't like gangbanging, that don't like being a criminal, that don't like being stereotypes, well, you have two choices. Either you get your passport and go to a foreign country so you don't have to deal with the ignorance. But what I'm trying to say in this video is there is an answer to every problem. This was the answer. How do you blow a woman's back out? And the second answer was, how do you release your primal nature? Now, at work, you can't do it because you'll lose your job. You know, you'll get kicked out of the gym if you try to release your primal nature. So if you go to the movie theater, you're going to get kicked out of the movie theater. Even if you go to a nightclub or a sports bar, you might still 80% most likely get kicked out of the club, but you'll also have a better chance of finding a woman that is going to comply. Now, I'm about to tell you something that they don't want to tell you in the news media. You know how some guys get the type of sex they want from women? They don't be looking for a woman to have sex. They look for a woman who is a sex addict, who is obsessed with sex and just want to have sex with a bunch of men. And a lot of times when you see guys go to a cougar bar or a golf club or a BBW nightclub, the reason why the men do that is because they can't do it in the gym. They cannot do it at work. Because at work, you can lose your job. You don't want to do it in the gym because you'll lose your gym membership. Can't do it at the mall. You get kicked out the mall. You know, you can get kicked out of the mall and get banned from the mall for about 2 to 3 years. You can get kicked out of the gym and can't come back to the gym for 5 years. Yeah, you can go to another gym and work out if it's not 24-hour fitness, because they'll tell every 24-hour fitness what you've done. Yeah, so you don't want to lose your gym membership and you don't want to lose your job. Now, nightclubs and bars, you might still get rejected, but you can go to as many bars and as many clubs as you want to. And what I'm saying in this video is, if you want to blow a girl's back out, you can do 5 miles. You can do 10, 15, 20 miles. If necessary, you can do 25 miles. Having sex with women that are freaks is just like playing sports. That's how you fix all these problems. And what I'm saying is, if you ever go to work, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week, and you work in a 6-hour shift or an 8-hour shift or a 10 or a 15-hour shift, about 80 to 85% of the time you are going to see the woman is civilized, and if she has a boyfriend, he's going to look like he's, one of those gangbangers or one of those hood men that look like he might blow up a store if he was given the chance. And that's because the woman prefers that. Now, I know that's bizarro land, but again, I'm just trying to tell you that whenever a girl brags about getting her back blown out, it's usually because the guy's in athletic shape. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he does cardio, he does weight training. And if you want to build up your stamina, doing 5 miles builds a lot of stamina. You ain't got to just drink caffeine coffee. I'm talking about 100% natural without coffee or without any drugs. 5 miles builds a lot of energy and a lot of stamina. Same thing if you do 15 miles. 5 miles, 10, 15, 20, 25 miles if necessary. And you ain't got to do it in 1 week. You can do 5 miles in 1 week. 2 to 3 months later, okay, month number 4 come up, do another 5. 5 plus 5 is 10 miles. In 4 months, you would have done 10 miles. That's all you need. You build a lot of stamina. You'd be amazed how many girls' back you can blow out. You can blow out 5 girls, 10 girls' back out just by doing that. So I hope you like this video of 45 minutes of great sex part 3. I don't want to make this video too long or too short. And this was just one subject I wanted to cover because, you know, it's to fix the problem that men have with dating women. So it don't matter if it's black women, white women, Mexican women, Asian women, women from foreign countries. About the vast majority of women are going to complain, and usually at number one, it's the guy's not in athletic shape, and the guy can't blow my back out. And when you see a girl date a criminal or a gangbanger, then usually that's the end result. So to prevent that from ever happening to you, and that's also how a woman cheats. To prevent women from cheating on you, I provide you not one answer, not two answers, not three. I provide you 7 to 8 answers to fix the problem. I'm a problem solver. All I'm all about on this YouTube channel is giving you the answers to fixing 80 to 85% of your problem. So when you try to date women and take women out to lunch and dinner, you don't have to deal with the bullshit that other guys have to deal with. This is how you prevent women from dating criminals in the first place. It all starts with taking a look in the mirror and realizing your mistakes and correcting your mistakes. About 80% of us do not want to take a look in the mirror and realize we're a part of the problem. If we would just correct our mistakes, we solve 80% of our problem. Now, I'm not saying you're going to solve every problem, but if you solve 80% of it, you don't have too much to deal with. So I hope you like this video. Until next time, peace.